So that
Joburg City Power says it's on high alert to deal with stage 6 power cut challenges. The city is concerned that long outages could worsen cable theft around the metro. Let's talk about the situation with Michael Sun, the MMC for Environment and Infrastructure Services in Johannesburg. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Grateful for your time. You've issued a statement overnight saying that help is on the way for residents of Johannesburg now dealing with stage 6 power cuts. What sort of help is coming?
Good afternoon, and certainly we in the city of Johannesburg, we are not just dealing with the current stage 6 or even a lower stage 5 load shedding. What we've done since April this year is, you would recall that we held the first ever energy indaba in the city of Johannesburg. And after that, after many months of hard work, we recently issued our first stage request for proposals to the IPPs in the market. In other words, we are asking the independent power producers that are ready and able to supply the capacity to the city of Johannesburg to get ready and submit their proposals to us. Our timeline is that, when the first RFP closes on 10th of February 2023, you are then able to take those proposals to the Department of Mineral Resources and say to them, we got all these proposals, please give us a go-ahead, and we can start to onboard the IPPs through a power purchasing agreement process. And we are hoping by the first calendar quarter of 2023, the City of Joburg will start to feel a difference. We'll be receiving additional capacity into our grid, and certainly then bridging the gap between our demand and load shedding schedules.
Is there no way of doing that faster, given the pressure on yourself when you look at vandalism and damage to infrastructure as a result of prolonged outages, but also the sheer frustration of people living in Johannesburg?
Absolutely. We understand the pain, and we feel the same frustration, for businesses, for residents. Unfortunately, there is still a lot of regulation and red tape that we have to go through as a municipality. I earlier mentioned that we still have to approach the Department of Mineral Resources. NERSA is another authority that we have to approach in terms of pricing. But we've done the groundwork, so we are fairly confident that we are still on track. We've done this as quickly as we can, so that when we eventually have to sign the IPPs up in terms of the power purchasing agreement, we don't have any issues or comebacks. We can immediately sign them on, and they can start providing the additional capacity to the city of Johannesburg.
But how much do you think, Councillor Sun, the situation will have worsened by then, considering that when you started this, we were all complaining about stage 2, 3, 4 load shedding. Now we're dealing with 6, and experts are telling us that even 8 no longer remains an impossibility or a far-off sort of target, shall we say?
One of the reasons that we are moving so fast in the city of Johannesburg is that when Eskom announces a stage 6, in reality, it feels like a stage 8 in the city of Johannesburg, because we are the economic hub of the country, of the continent. Many productive hours and business opportunities are lost. So we need to move very quickly, and I can only anticipate that the situation doesn't get worse. But the expert out there has told us for every stage of load shedding, every day, the country loses 500 million rand. I mean, that's an astronomical amount of money to lose. And certainly that we want to move our residents and customers away from that dependency and ensure that we have sufficient capacity. So we will undertake to our residents, we'll move as quickly as possible, and we will ensure that we definitely get those additional capacity into our grid in the early 2023 year.
You talk about moving the city off the dependency on Eskom, but in reality, at what point would we be able to say the metro has become completely independent in its ability to keep the lights on? Because that's a much longer term goal, is it not?
That is correct. Eskom remains our largest electricity provider, not just to Johannesburg, but across the country. So when we say we want to move away from the dependency, we are really saying that we want to bridge the gap between the demand of the city and the load shedding stages. So, for example, if Eskom should announce a stage 4, we're then able to move our customers and residents down to a stage 2 or even a stage 1. And when there's a stage 6, we're hoping to bring it down to a stage 4. But with our second phase of the IPP process, we're then looking at a bigger capacity. We are looking to partner with private sector to even build power stations in the city of Johannesburg. Then we will be seriously moving away from that dependency at a much larger gap and margin, so that Eskom load shedding wouldn't be such a hassle for the city of Johannesburg. But I think for the foreseeable future, we will still be dependent on Eskom as the nation to provide electricity.
But how much, finally, of your infrastructure has taken a battering as a result of the worsening situation?
Well, I think the loss that we can count on is obviously loss of revenue, production time. The other unforeseen consequence from the past, but it's now very obvious, is that we are suffering tremendous amount of infrastructure damage and vandalism. Cable thieves go out there working during load shedding, knowing that there's not going to be any electricity, so they, are risk-free from electrocution. And the cables, fuses, other equipments we have to replace is astronomical. And those amounts are obviously not within our normal budgeting process. It's not funds that we want to allocate to, although we are insured to an extent, but it's certainly not a good position for the city or city power.
Are you still dealing with massive problems around some of your own workers or even contractors colluding with criminals in order to steal and damage your infrastructure for criminal benefit?
We can never discount the fact that there are criminals working out there with our own internal city power employees or even contractors. And this is where we appointed just a week ago 52 new electricians to work internally within city power. This is a target of 300. The process will go on until July 2023, where we're hoping that we will have appointed the full 300 internal electricians. We certainly want to keep the good contractors in our books and to continue to work. But it's throughout this process that we are growing our own resources. We are removing some of the bad quality contractors where the workmanship is shoddy. And rightfully, as you've mentioned, there are suspicions of our own equipments and resources being stolen. So this is a process that we want to put into place to ensure that we spend monies where it's needed and ensure that we bring quality, uninterrupted services to our residents.
Michael Sun, thank you for your time, sir.